Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another Breakfast with Blaha. And today, having one of my extremely unhealthy meals, grilled chicken, guacamole, and vegetables. All right, there'll be someone who finds a problem with it. There'll be someone who explained how this is unhealthy. I guess I should just eat a standard American diet and then I'll be healthy and just do flexible dieting and work donuts and Pop-Tarts and ice cream into 20% of my calories every day, then everyone will leave me alone, right? And then I'll be healthy. Could do that. Get that Ben and Jerry's. Gotta weigh it out with the scale, 20% of my calories every day. Like them flexible dieters. Right, then no one will complain. I would probably get less flack than me eating clean all the time. All right, over to the point. This has come up with some of my clients, my younger clients, when I put them on 531 type templates, because at this point I run three types of programming. I run linear programming for rank novices, I do 531, I do conjugate. Now, these are my versions of these. These are my customized training for each individual client that's updated every week or two. So it's not right out of a book somewhere. They are tuned for each client. But something that's come up with that, they're like, but I'm only doing each big lift once a week. Is that enough? I thought that we shouldn't be bro splitting. Well, that's not necessarily true. Number one, you're not doing a bro split. Number two, it's fine to do a lift only once a week. Look at the way that I 531. Whether I was overhead pressing or inclining or whatever, do you guys still see me come in and do another chest press? All right, you can overhead press as a main lift, not on your bench day. You can do dumbbell presses, incline bench, you can do dips. Do this stuff for accessories, okay? You're still working the same muscles as the bench press. Are they in the exact same ratios? No, because these are different exercises. You're still training pecs, triceps, delts. Still going to do rows or pull-ups or whatever on those days. So it's just an upper body day. It's just an upper body day. Same thing on lower body days. You guys see me do quad work on my deadlift days. And conventional deadlifts work the quads, don't they? We're aware that anyone in disagreement there? If you don't think conventional deadlifts work the quads, you don't know basic biomechanics. Are they a great quad exercise? No. Can they build quads? Sure. But I do belt squats after. Belt squats, a lot of my lifters do leg presses, single leg exercises after. Quads get worked. A lot of my kids said they squat and then they do good mornings after. The hamstrings are being worked. It's not just on the deadlift day. So from a muscle protein synthesis, we're fine. Everything's being hit twice a week. We could argue you don't necessarily need to do that. You don't need to. I know some stupidly strong, jacked guys who train 3 days a week. And one of them is basically a bench and upper body day. Like, I know guys who do that. They have a squat, bench, and a deadlift day. If I ever go to 3 days, that's what I'm going to do. I know it's almost push-pull legs, except that you want to squat first. But it's only 3 days a week. You'd argue it's not optimal for protein synthesis, but you're not natty, it may not be that big of a deal, realistically. But I know some guys who train that way, and they got jacked upper bodies still, and they're benching 500 plus pounds. They're out there. So how do they still get stronger? Because that's the other point. These people are like, don't I need to practice the lift multiple times a week? Not necessarily. Now, I've got some friends who are coaches. You're going to be like, oh, you do, man. I bench 4 days a week and have an elite bench. Okay, And that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. It's working for you. Is it necessary? I think that's the real question. I think the answer is no. Because there's also guys benching just as much who only bench once a week. They only squat once a week. It's a personal preference. Personal preference. It's fine. It's working. I mean, if you bench 500 pounds, right? If you're 220 and you bench 500 pounds, you're clearly not doing anything too wrong. We should all be doing stuff as wrong as you in that case. But the point is, what we find when it comes to practicing lower skill lifts. And squat, bench, and deadlift are low skill lifts. Realistically, you guys watched me come in and pull without doing any real conventional pulling. Very, very little walk in and pull 625 at that event in my 40s. I'm going to beat that. I'm going to pull more than that. I didn't need to do a lot of deadlifting to get there. Deadlift is the lowest, squat middle, bench is the most technical. But these are not high skill lifts. They're not high skill lifts. You can brute strength your way through all of them. You can brute strength your way through them with bad form and still hit elite numbers. But as far as the practice goes, what do we know on lifts like this? Well, the research has found frequency does matter for hypertrophy to a certain extent, meaning once a week may not maximize hypertrophy. You can still get a lot. And when I say that, people think that I'm saying bro split type training can't get you big. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's not optimal. Okay, there's a difference. Not optimal from a muscle protein synthesis perspective. But when we start looking at strength, frequency doesn't seem to matter. Volume matters for purposes of strength carryover. What do we mean by volume there? How much of the exercise you're actually practicing. And people who do it all in one day, guess what? They're getting a lot of practice. Getting a ton of practice. And start looking at some of these elite world-class level lifters who only train 3 days a week on a system. They do up to 10 sets. Well, some of the 5-3-1 templates, are you getting pretty close to that? You're ramping up with 3 sets, heavy sets, and maybe doing back off work. Another 5 sets, whether you're doing a 5x5, a 5x10, whatever. 5x3. You're doing about 8 sets. That's a lot of practice, right? You're doing 8 sets of an exercise every week. You don't think that's good enough practice? I think it is. Barring maybe some people would get a benefit from a little more. Ultra elite lifters who are honing their technique, trying to squeeze 10 more pounds onto their 550 bench. Okay. All right, could be a place for that. Most of your lifters don't need that. Like that's more than adequate. And they can come in and do that once a week. And they cannot touch that lift for a week. And their technique and neuromuscular efficiency and everything on that lift would be fine. They just need to get big and strong outside of that. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.